Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Harika. So in previous videos, we have seen the basic link queries and also how we can write a where function using link query. So under that, we have seen different variations, like how we can apply based on our requirement and how we can use multiple other functions inside a where function, right? So by this time, you would be having a pretty good knowledge on how to write and what are the return types and how to save it into a data table and write it into an Excel, correct? So now let's take a step ahead and look into another function. So let's say if we can filter it out the particular values from an Excel by using a where function. So the next step, let's say if you wanted to extract a particular column value, so how we can do that by using link query. So that's what this video is going to be concentrating on. And in this video, by end of this video, you will see multiple different other functions that we can use along with where, how we can use different functions with that. So first I'm going to show what is the use case that we are going to concentrate in this video. So first of all, let's try to write a query we all are familiar with. So let's pick a query that can filter out the row items in this particular Excel that are having a price greater than 1,000. So let's say we need to get these all 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So these items should be returning when we use a where function. So for that we already know. So I'm reading the Excel and what I'm exactly doing here. So let's get an assign activity. We all know how to do that. We have to first convert this into an enumerable. So that I use as enumerable. Go now. So after that, I'm using a where function. So if you're someone watching this video for the first time in link queries, you would not be understanding what exactly I'm writing over here. So I would suggest you to go and check the previous videos on link query playlist. So there are 3 videos prior to this. So if you see that, you can clearly understand the query, each and every part of the query. So I'm going to filter out the values with respect to the price column, which are greater than 1,000. So it will return all the values. So we all know what's the return type of this where function. It's a enumerable row collections, right? So for that, I am going to copy this into a data table. Okay. So we are good with this. I'm going to write it into a same data table. So what exactly I'm going to do here? So there's an error. String to double. Okay. So this is a string. So for which I will convert this into an integer. And then we're good. Okay. So I can write this into a data table. And after this, I'm going to pass it into a Excel sheet. I would use the same Excel. But I'll write in a different sheet. Let's go for sheet 3 as I have the data. The one that I'm going to process is in the sheet 2. So let's take sheet 3. So I'm having this data. So from which data table? Right. So I don't want to keep this range. I'm going to comment these out because I'm going to discuss them after explaining you this part. So once that is done, okay, so we're good. I can just execute this part and we'll see what is the output. So this is just the same basic where function that I'm writing to get the required values into a different sheet. It's very simple query. Right? So we got everything which are above the range of 1000. So let me add the header over here. So after this, what is my requirement? We got everything, right? So now what I'm going to show you here is, in this particular, I'm going to use a select query. So how to use a select query is the select function is the question now. So for that, what I'm going to do, I will just we just have to understand what are the return types and how we can use them. So for this, I will just add headers so that. Okay. So instead of this, I can write the query here. So what exactly we are doing, the output from this, I can just copy the same query which I'm using here, or else let me do one thing. Excuse me. So yeah, this is a till here we are clear, right? So we are actually filtering it out, all the values that are having the price greater than 1000. So from this, I wanted to select the item description values which are having this particular output, right? So this query should return me all these values as an output, right? So we have 6. So for that, I'm going to click select, and here it's just the same like how we are writing it in case of where. So just give item description dot ToString. But the most important thing that you have to remember here is the return types of the function. So if you see, the return type of this function is a it's not a data table, it's an array, it's a collection. So you have to take it into an array. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this variable type as array of string. So for that, you just have to go into the variable and select this as array of t. Okay, so there you get the option to change to it's of array of strings. Okay, so you just do that. So once after that's done, you can add the values. You can just place the values whatever this query is extracting into this particular array. So to avoid any confusion, I'm just having only the required things on the studio. So I'm just reading the Excel, and now we know that by using the where function, we are filtering it out, and from that we are getting a particular column values by using the select function. So for that, we have to write the query in this way, and the output of that is very important. It's an array of string, so that's why I'm taking it an array of string, and then I'm going to print this now. So how I'm going to print this? So for that, I am having a for each. I'm just using one for each. So I'm just taking this array of string into this, and for each item, I'm going to print that particular value. So for that, I have changed the argument type to a string, right? So if this is an array of string, and each value can be a string, right? It holds one string at a time. So that's how we can do. Only this part I will just execute, and we can see the output. And let's run the file. So it has to return 6 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So these are the items that are having a value which is greater than 1000, and we are selecting a particular column which is item description. So let's say if you wanted to pick a quantity, okay, what is the quantity of these items that we are picking, or else if you want to pick the price also, you can just pick it. If you want whole data, we have seen that how we can do by using where function in a data table. It will display everything, right? So in the same way, you can just whatever the column name you wanted to give, you just have to replace it over here, and that would do the necessary action. So just that we can use where function to filter out and the select function in order to get the required values that we need. So these are all greater than 1000 as per the query that we've written. So apart from this, if you don't want to know what is the the value that it is displaying, but you are interested in something like count, you wanted to know the count or anything of that sort, we have the functions that are enabled in this particular query, so we can just use them. So you can just write the count, that will return you the count. So the other thing that you have to change here is you have to change the return type, that because it's a of type, we have changed it to integer string type, so it's of type string, right? It is returning a string, so you have to take it into a variable which is of string. So for that, it has to return me a value of 6. So just give int count here. So just disable this because we don't have this array string that will throw an error now. So just run this. And this should return me a count of 6, right? So this is how we can do. It's very simple. We just have to understand how to write a query. So based on that, we can filter, we can select, we can try to analyze like what is the count of it and everything very clearly. So it's just that if we understand the concept behind it, we can write any big query for whatever the requirement it is. So this is about select. So in future videos, we'll see furthermore functions like group by, how we'll join different data tables, and how we'll extract different values based on the requirement. So if you find this video useful, please do like the video and also share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and do subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the videos.